Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode 2 out of 52 episodes that I will be making about my healing process through narcissistic abuse. So last week was the introduction. If you didn't catch it, I would appreciate it if you could give that one a look as well. It'll kind of get you up to speed. I'll give a little bit of information here though to try to get you up to speed if you, for one reason or another, cannot watch it. So today I wanted to make this video and talk about some tools that I've been using over the past week to try to get me further along in my healing. If you're watching this, then you are probably watching it because you want to find out information because you are a victim of narcissistic abuse. Maybe you've been discarded and you're just getting out of the relationship, or you may have been out of the relationship for quite some time and you're just looking for some pointers or to see what other people are doing in a similar situation. Or you might be considering getting out of an abusive relationship, and so you want a heads up so you can start doing your homework as to what to expect and what tactics you can use to make yourself whole again. So, now look, I know that if you were discarded, it feels as if the world is crashing all around you. That's exactly what I feel like. But it has to get better, right? And it will get better. But it'll only get better if we take an active role in our own mental health to be able to get whole again. Remember, this wasn't your fault, okay? Let me give you a little bit of a quick background of my situation. So, my undiagnosed narcissistic personality disordered wife walked out on me in mid-July and filed for divorce in late October. And I've been struggling to cope with not only the divorce, but also struggling to try to help to rebuild myself so that I can get better and feel whole again. Typically when something like this happens, the abused person isolates themselves because they might feel embarrassed or humiliated because the marriage or the relationship ended. I know I sure did and kind of still do because I have isolated myself. And also on top of that, the abuser probably started isolating you when you were in the relationship and telling you that friends and family were bad, this person was bad, that person was bad. And so you're pretty much left with no one after they leave. And that's pretty much where I'm at myself. I have a very, very small support group. So I have isolated myself because I have trouble trusting people and making new friendships currently. And I'm constantly reevaluating my friendships that I've had. And to tell you the truth, I've actually gotten rid of most of my friends because I have found that they are not good for me. A lot of them were just using me for what I could give them, and it wasn't a very, it wasn't a very equal friendship. And that's something that I want to cut out for 2018. It's all about me this year and my healing, my recovery. And it should be about yours too, shouldn't it? Okay, so isolation isn't exactly the best way to go through life, but for a period of time, it can give you a means to be able to start looking inward on yourself and start focusing on really working on yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do for me. I want to focus on, what I want out of life, how I want to live, what boundaries and deal breakers that I want to put up for the future for friendships and relationships, intimate romantic relationships, so that I do not find myself in the same situation again, either if she comes back and tries to suck me back in, or, with the next friend or the next potential mate. Because I feel that right now, and there's a lot of studies that show, unless you start to work on yourself, you will probably end up attracting the same type of people and end up getting in the same situation. And a lot of counselors and therapists say that you probably shouldn't date for about a year. I'm not married yet, therefore I don't believe in dating and tarnishing the marriage or the sanctity of marriage, how I see it in my eyes, until I am divorced. So I'm now focusing on getting in touch with myself and learning how I got here instead of why, all the whys. Why did I get here? Why did this happen to me? Why did she leave? Because to be honest, the whys really don't matter. I mean, they don't. They're in the past, and that's where you need to leave them. You'll probably never get the answers. Now, you might get a little bit of the answers, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but for the most part, don't expect any answers from the narcissist, and you should be worrying about the how so it doesn't happen again, okay? Once again, the past is the past, and there is nothing that you can do about it right now to rectify that situation, but you can do things to safeguard yourself for the future and to work on things that have brought about trauma in your past, okay? Now, if you've been abused or discarded, then it's important for you to understand that it is not your fault. This wasn't your fault. You were a kind, caring person. I am a kind, caring person. And I did everything that I could possibly do to make the marriage work. It just did not work. So, I want to try to put some tactics into place to make sure that I can move forward, because it is all about moving forward. We have to move forward each day, step by step, even little baby steps, moving forward, okay? Now, I found, first thing we're going to talk about is meditation, and I have found that meditation has helped me to change my perception little by little, okay? Because my abuser used to either gaslight me or put me down and tell me things like I wasn't smart enough, I'm not a good husband, I don't know how to be a husband, I don't know how to be married, I wasn't a good person, I wasn't successful enough, and that I was too stubborn, and this is because I had boundaries in place. And basically then, on top of it, projected all of the things that she was doing onto me. Lying, constant cheating all the time. We're talking days after we were married. Cheating, and more cheating, and then gaslighting me to make me not believe that she was cheating. And then just all of this constant abuse got me to believe all of this projection, and ended up turning me into someone that I did not want to be anymore. I felt like I was a conflict, because I'm normally a pretty honest guy, full of integrity. I help people. I consider myself to be a good person. And I was turning into a not so good person. And this is what some clinicians and experts on the subject call getting fleas. You get little traits, minor traits from the narcissist or from the borderline, but luckily they're only temporary if you address them and work towards getting rid of them. And that is definitely what I'm doing. So, like I said, meditation has allowed me to at least start to center myself and start to rebuild myself, who I am, who I want to be, okay? The meditation technique that I use works like this. I typically do it first thing in the morning and right before I go to sleep, while I'm in bed. I can't really find the focus to do it for extended amounts of time. I've heard of people that can, but I can only do it for a few minutes, but I figure a few minutes is better than nothing at all. I think this is due to the fact that I still have so much internal dialogue in my head that's going on that it's just not sticking as well as it should, but I figure with repetition it will. Okay, so what I do is I find a quiet place, and like I said, it's usually in my bed. I lay down on my back, I close my eyes, and I work on breathing exercises. The breathing exercise that I use is deep breathing, and it works like this. You inhale through your nose, and you take about 2 to 3 seconds to do so. When I do that, I am thinking of a color. I am thinking of a clean color, the color white. So I am intaking all of that white, clean air. And it can be whatever color you associate with clean. Then I hold my breath for about 2 to 3 seconds. And then I slowly exhale completely for 2 to 3 seconds. And as I'm exhaling, I think of a dirty color, like I'm getting rid of and purging all of the bad stuff that's in me. I usually use like a dirty brown color, or maybe even like a black color, or a gray, something like that. So once I feel like I am centered enough, then I repeat these words. I try to do them aloud, but sometimes I will do them silently if I need to do this during the day while I'm in my office. And I cannot take credit for this meditation. I don't know who originally did it, but I found it in a video. It stuck with me, and so this is what I use, and hopefully it'll work for you as well. I simply say, may I have peace. May I have freedom from suffering. May I have food, shelter, and companionship. May I have peace. And I say that over and over again. And it's just the beginning to a 3-part meditation that I learned that you're supposed to do. First, you do it for yourself. Then you do it to a neutral party. And then you actually do that for your abuser. It has to do with forgiving. But we're not going to talk about that until down the line. I'm just going with the first part of it because right now it is all about us and trying to get to some stable ground, okay? It does really seem to help me, and I encourage you to give it a try as well. I do this in the morning and at night so I can give myself this positive reinforcement. And I also do mirror work. Have you ever heard of mirror work? If you haven't, it basically is what it sounds like. You stand in front of a mirror and you talk to your reflection. So what I do is basically I'll do it twice a day. I'll do it in the morning while I'm getting ready for work, and I'll do it at night when I'm getting ready for bed. And I will stare into the mirror, and I will, let's take it the morning, for example. I will look into my eyes in the reflection of the mirror, and I'll say, good morning. You are an awesome person. Do you know that? You are worthy of love. You're worthy of success, and you will have an awesome day. And you will feel better today, and you'll feel a lot better than yesterday. Because once again, you rock. You're awesome. Now, I know this sounds kind of cheesy, but it really does help because it gives yourself some positive affirmations. Because if you're isolated, you're probably not talking with people. And so you're not getting this from anyone. So you need to give it to yourself so that you can start building your esteem, because chances are the narcissist helped you to wreck your self-esteem and your self-esteem plummets. Now, the one that I do at night is a little bit different. I still do the same thing, but I'll say something like, good evening. You had a great day, didn't you? You were awesome at work today. And there were some hard things that you had to do at work, but you were a champ and you champed right through it. And you had an awesome drive home as well. And I'm proud that you made it home, because right now it's the winter time and the roads are slick and you are such a good driver. You made it home so that you could take care of your dogs who rely and depend on you. Once again, this is positive affirmation. And I do this every night, and it really is seeming to help. Sometimes I will leave my office and I will go into the restroom at my work, and I will do it there as well. Now, some people, because of the amount of abuse or how they've handled the abuse, they might not be able to look in a mirror and deal with their reflection right off the bat. And that's okay. You will get up to it. But what you can do is you can just sit in a quiet room or in your car and say those things to you. And it's all about hearing it. It's all about, these words being audible. And try not to say them inside. Try to say them outside so you can hear them, okay? So that is kind of what I do with a little bit of the meditation and the self-help. Another thing that I have found has been immensely helpful is education. I have educated myself on the subject of narcissistic personality disorder, of the traits of it, the spectrum of it, and things that I can do as a victim of this disorder, or the victim of the abuse, I should say, from someone having this disorder, to make myself a little bit better. Okay, so I have watched a ton of YouTube videos. At first, because I am in grad school, I know my way around academic databases and academic journals, and I looked up a lot about narcissism just to kind of get an overview about what was going on and what I was kind of in for. But then I found that it seemed to be a lot easier just to start looking at the videos, okay? So I went on YouTube and I started looking at videos. And be careful when you're looking at videos because some of the videos may be made by narcissists and may not be true, to say the least. But some of them that are made by narcissists are true. And for example, the first video series I started to watch was called Knowing the Narcissist. And oh my God, let me give you a disclaimer in the fact that these videos may trigger you, because they are written and narrated by a narcissist, but it gives you the unique insight to be able to see what is going on in their heads and why they are doing this. Remember when I said we were going to come back to the why question earlier in the episode? This is probably the only way that you're going to get the why is from watching something like this. I wouldn't say that it helped me to heal, but it did help me to desensitize myself because I was knowing that I wasn't in a completely unique situation. It was basically a situation that many people have been in because there are many narcissists out there. Many. And so after I couldn't stomach any more of that content, I bounced around from YouTube channel to YouTube channel, and I picked up a lot of valuable information along the way. Some people or channels that I would recommend are as follows, and they are in no particular order. First one, Kim Saeed, spelled S-I-A-A-D. Lots of great information, lots of self-help techniques, how to heal. Chris Godinez, We Need to Talk, that is the name of her channel. Awesome. I mean, this chick knows what is going on. She is a licensed therapist out of Arizona, I believe the Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa area. And oh my God, she has helped me so much. And I definitely would recommend that you watch her stuff. I've been binge watching her because it is amazing. Some other ones, Permission to Exist. Now this has static video, but it is narrated and it does have some information that I find pretty interesting about narcissistic personality disorder and how to heal from it and things like that, techniques that you can use. Another one that is static video but narration is called The Little Shaman Healing. That is another one you can look up. Sarah Speaks is another one, and this chick is great too. She's a life coach. I believe she's based out of the Florida area. Very knowledgeable, very good at what she does. It's just, yeah, she has tons of techniques that are awesome, okay? Another one is ASSC Direct. This guy is hilarious, and he is a no bullshit type of guy. He will make you feel so good after you watch his videos. Now, the good feeling may not last, but even if it's having a 10-minute break, don't you deserve it to yourself for those 10 minutes to have a break? And these videos really helped me when it was really early in the discard, okay? Thrive After Abuse is another one that I watched. Be the Light is another one that I watched that had pretty decent information. Angie Atkinson, she has a ton of videos about this kind of stuff. And she's very easy to watch, very personable, and has a lot of good information, definitely. The one that I like the most so far, well, I won't say like the most, but definitely made me feel good and put a smile on my face. It's called Crazy Narcissist X, as in just the X, Girlfriend. It's narrated by this guy named David, and he is hilarious. And you can tell that this guy has been through some shit. And he has came out and survived and is thriving. So definitely, I would watch that because it will make you feel, he makes you feel so empowered, guys, okay? Now remember, knowledge is power, okay? And by gaining as much information as you can, you are equipping yourself with the tools that you will need to help get you through this. You will get through it, not over it. We're not jumping a hurdle. We're smashing right through it. We are getting through this, and we'll get through it together, you and I, okay, week by week. So, it also shows you the signs that you can look for on the, for people that you might think might have a narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder or any of the other cluster B disorders, which it's very good to know these things because that way you can, you can kind of dial in your radar so you can make sure to steer clear from these people, okay? So, I am not saying that this was a cure-all for me by any means, okay? It's far from it. It was a starting point. I still feel broken. I still try hard not to feel like a victim, but a survivor, and I struggle with that. And I still cry a lot. And I tell you what, guys, it's okay to cry. If anyone ever said, don't cry, it's a sign of weakness or anything like that, no, they were probably a narcissist or something was wrong with them. It is very healthy and therapeutic to cry. And I feel better when I cry, even if it's just a little bit. I cried yesterday in the tub, and I felt a little bit better shortly after I cried. Just a little bit better, but I felt better, okay? So, I'm also slowly working through the shame that was placed on me by my ex, the narcissist, and others in my past, like from my family of origin or caregivers, things that I'm trying to figure out where I developed this addiction to toxic people, because I shouldn't have shame for being compassionate and caring and empathetic and dedicated and reliable and trustworthy. That's how I feel that I am. And once again, this was something that will lure a narcissist to you. They will be drawn to it because they cannot be these things themselves. And this will ultimately be what they hate you for and what they try to destroy. Yes, I know it is confusing, but bear with me, and through education you will find out how everything weaves together. It is a long road, my friends, it is. But all we can do is take it one step at a time. And if you want, we can take these steps together, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is finding a therapist. I had a therapist shortly after I was discarded. I went and got one. But looking back, I feel as if the therapist did not do as much as they could have done. And what I mean by this is they were not specialized in narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic abuse syndrome or complex post-traumatic stress disorder, any of these things. They were kind of like a run-of-the-mill therapist. So it wasn't as helpful as it could be. Over the past week, I have called some other therapists. I'm slowly interviewing them. Guys, don't be afraid to interview your therapist so that you can find a good match, someone that is experienced in these things, okay? Because you want to make sure. So, you really have to be serious about finding a therapist that's right for you. If you've been abused and you have these symptoms, make sure that you find someone, okay? Also, something that I found that has helped me as well is journaling or blogging. It can help a lot, okay? It's all about getting those things out of your head because you end up ruminating over them. They go over and over and over and over and over again like a broken record, and it just drives you crazy. So instead, what you can do is you can write them on paper. And I would say, hey, or put them on video. That's what I'm trying to do here. I wrote my ex a letter. In the letter, I said everything that I thought was good about the relationship or about her, which we know was all an illusion, correct? The bad things when I was being devalued and pretty much pit against myself. And then lastly, the discard, what was absolutely horrible about her and about the relationship. Now, different people say to do different things with these letters, okay? Some people say, oh, what you should do is you should, once you're done, take it outside, read it aloud, and then throw it into a fire pit or a grill or something like that and let that be that. And that might work for some people. One thing I can tell you not to do not bother sending it to your narcissist. It won't make any difference. They won't care. They can't care. They don't have empathy. They are not compassionate. They think right now, because they discarded you, they think you are disgusting. You are revolting. You are pretty much a piece of shit to them. So why give them any narcissistic supply by giving them a letter where you're lamenting or bitching them out or telling them how they're wrong? They don't care. They don't have any empathy. They don't have a conscience. And I'm talking about the ones that are malignant, okay? The ones that are very abusive, that have lied, have cheated, have stolen, that are abusive. I personally, when I wrote my letter, I keep it around just like I'm keeping these videos around. Now, I'm not doing that so I can read it over and over and over again and get nostalgic. No, I am doing it so that if she comes back, and I won't even say if, when she tries to suck me back, I can look back at that letter and see all of the things that she did and how horrible it was that I had to go through it, so I could say, no, sorry, or actually I wouldn't even say anything to her, okay guys? So that is definitely something for you to do. So, let's see. And another reason to keep that letter too is because with time isn't a cure-all, but it fades things. So it might fade the intensity of those bad feelings, and you want to make sure that you remember exactly what was done. They're not going to change. They're not sorry. No, it's nothing like that. So, sorry, my light just died. So I'm going to try to end up getting through this, okay? So they will never change. It's better, you heard me use the term malignant. Well, where else have you heard the term malignant before? Yeah, with cancer. And what do they do with cancer? They cut them out to save the host. So you are the host. Cut them out to save the host. The way you do that is through no contact. And we'll talk about that at a later date because my battery died and I want to save that for another video. So, let's see, where am I at? Okay, so if you found this video helpful or you liked it, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. I also have started a Facebook support group. It is called NPD Abuse Survivors. I will put a link at the bottom of this video so that you can check it out and you can get an invite. It is a closed group because I value the privacy of people that were abused. The other groups that I have found out there for narcissistic abuse, they do not have, they are open to the public, and I don't think that is very conducive to healing. I also want to let you know, I am not a professional. I am just a guy that has went through 6 years of hell at the hands of someone with narcissistic personality disorder, and I thought I could fix them, and I thought I could love them until they were healed, and you can't do that. I have read a lot of information, but I'm going through this a step at a time. There are people that know a lot more than me, and there are people that know a lot less than me. So, let's all work together and try to help each other out. So, that's pretty much it, guys. Stay tuned for next week where we will be talking again about how to heal from narcissistic abuse. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and remember to just take it one step at a time, make little forward bouts of progress, and that there are many survivors out there just like yourself. You are not alone, okay? So we need to band together, and I really want you to have a great week. Work on the meditation, work on the self-help, and work on trying to educate yourself, okay? And I will see you, or you will see me, next week. Bye, everybody.